In studio today, we're pleased to welcome our new regular segmenter, if that's the word, Dr Yasmin Probst. And she is a local girl, a dietitian, and she is an advanced accredited practicing dietitian. She's a senior lecturer at the School of Medicine at the University of Wollongong and a research fellow at the Illawarra Health and Medical Research Institute. Welcome, Yasmin.
How are you both?
Well, thank you. Lovely to have you here.
So, Yasmin, do you want to start off and tell us about the scope of practice of dietitians and the things that they're interested in?
Sure. I mean, with dietitians, there are quite a number of us working in a number of different areas, and a few of us are a little bit sneaky. We call ourselves nutritionists because it's a little bit easier and it rolls off the tongue a bit more smoothly. But basically, we're out there talking to people in the community, in the hospital. We can see patients one-on-one or in groups. We can work in food industry. Lots and lots of different areas where you can find dietitians these days. But the one thing is to keep in mind that dietitians are nutritionists, but nutritionists aren't always dietitians.
Ah. So is that by their qualifications?
It is, yeah. So to be a nutritionist, technically you need a tertiary qualification, which also means dietitians need a tertiary qualification. But those additional skills of working with people one-on-one and the professional practice factor, that really comes into play there. That's where the dietitians are separated out, and the medical nutrition therapy aspect as well.
Mm. And you are a researcher, so tell us about some of your areas of interest.
Sure. I have lots of different areas of interest. So I like to work with kids in the preventive space to really try and keep those conditions, those chronic conditions that we see so prevalent in society, from occurring in those children. And I also work in the space where I develop technologies to help nutrition practice run more smoothly and efficiently. But I guess the main one that really hits the nail on the head with me is I'm a bit of a food detective. So I dig through the composition of what foods are and dig through that food matrix to work out what do we know and what don't we know yet.
Because food and diet has certainly in the media and in the lay press and magazines, I don't know if it's just me looking, but it seems to be taking on a greater role in our reading material at least.
It certainly is dominating, particularly. And I suppose being a mum too, with children at primary school and at high school, food allergies are sort of are everywhere, aren't they? And we're always reading information about them. So interesting.
There's a lot happening in the allergy space as well. That's right, yes. Yeah.
Now, I don't know if listeners had seen last Sunday on the 12th of August on SBS at 8:30, there was a program about vitamins called Vitamania, and it featured our lovely guest, Yasmin, as one of the people being interviewed on that show. So, Yasmin, tell us about that Vitamania program, because I thought it was amazing presentation.
It was a very new experience for me. So that basically used my food detective skills to dig through the various vitamins, so the 13 vitamins in total. And really in that documentary, my role was to work out what is the role of food in relation to vitamins, and that really comes close to my heart. I mean, I believe that we should be able to eat whole foods, and that's really, that balance is all we need, generally. But the documentary Vitamania explores the whole space of vitamins, both from the food perspective and from the supplement perspective, and takes us on a bit of a journey of people's experiences, good and bad, with the vitamins.
Yeah, and I thought it was quite fascinating. I mean, in Australia, we spend on complementary medicines and alternative medicines, which includes a subset of vitamins, something like $4.7 billion. And the vitamin component of that is very large. And you can buy vitamins just about anywhere, online, supermarkets, health food stores. They are very prevalent. Yeah. And I think it's something like one in two of us, or 50% of us, take some sort of supplement.
Yeah, and we don't even know what all the risks are yet. So it's quite scary that the numbers are so high in Australia in particular.
One of the things I did notice or took out of that program was that the scientist who was hosting it, Derek Muller, did say that there's lots of evidence for the components of food, the vitamins, the minerals, the nutrients in food, but there's actually not a lot of evidence for us taking supplements, which I found quite fascinating. I mean, obviously, if people have an actual deficiency, but the evidence of taking it in a supplement form as opposed to the food form, which,
Yeah, and there's a lot of different things in the supplements as well. I mean, we have the vitamins in the foods, which we tend to know a fair bit about, but to form those same things in a chemical form, in a pill or a tablet or whatever it may be, there's a bit of leeway there, and it's not as tightly regulated as the food space is.
Interesting. There are so many vitamins. That's what always blows me away. In the supermarket, in the pharmacies, there are just walls of vitamins, and I'm interested in the marketing, the way they spend a lot of money on marketing and how they differentiate their product, because obviously they're all competing, quite heavily against each other. So, you often see different vitamin companies promoting themselves or aligning themselves with running events and
sporting
events.
sponsorship.
So there's a lot of sponsorship dollars in there. So the marketing of vitamins is really interesting to me.
And there's a lot of it.
Yeah.
Lots and lots of dollars go into that marketing space.
It's such a big money spinner.
And I guess it's everyone's intention to try be doing the right thing by their kids or by their family or by themselves.
Of course,
and I guess in the consumer society, taking a pill or taking something seems to be so easy. But the reality is, as I know that you'll go on to talk about, that fresh food is just full of that and more. It's just there for us.
That's right. And you'll see, if you did watch the documentary as well, there are so few foods that you need to actually eat to get those vitamins for healthy living. So why take something that's in a pill form? To me, it doesn't make sense, but that's my own personal opinion.
The other thing is that many people think that vitamins and complementary medicines are, inverted commas, natural or therefore must be healthy. But the reality is that they're totally processed in their manufacture. And that's one thing I also took away from that program. The huge factory that was making those vitamins in England with, smoke or steam puffing out of this big factory, which was quite I don't know why I hadn't thought of that.
The opposite to what you would think was producing them. Yeah.
One thing that you did mention in the show, and maybe you could speak to now, is the recommended daily amounts that you need to have. Describe that to us.
Yeah. So in the documentary, you'll see we've actually formed a plate that shows the amount of each vitamin that you actually need, and they're minuscule amounts. They're really tiny little amounts. And to get that, you only need a handful of food items or so, a nice balance of different types. We've got the salmon, the yogurt, the brown rice, baby spinach, a few different bits and pieces to get all of those different vitamins. But if you don't have all of those amounts, you aren't getting the nutrition that your body needs, and then you can be at risk of deficiency. So, such tiny amounts from such an easy source, and, fresh is always best in my opinion. So I think, while we've got it available to us, why not make use of it?
And in Australia, we are so lucky to have so much fresh fruit and vegetable that, I guess it's just putting a little bit of effort into understanding and trying to plan a little bit ahead, which you'll be pleased that, this is something we could talk about over time, that, just a little bit more planning can, really, probably save lots of money as well, because the vitamins, as are expensive.
Exactly. And in the other role that I have when I'm not here talking to Sue on the radio, Yasmin, is I work as a kitchen garden teacher at a local school. So thinking back to that program, and the doctor on that program was talking about the benefits of, or how fabulous kale was. Now, kale is one vegetable that we just have so much of in our garden. It's something that's there all the time and can be used in so many different ways. So I'm a big fan of the idea of teaching our children that they can get all their vitamins and minerals from the food that we grow.
Definitely. That's something that's close to my heart as well. My kids are always in the kitchen with me or out in the veggie patch as well. And for them, teaching them an awareness of what's seasonal, how we can grow things, how we can cook them, basically the paddock to plate type approach. It's winter time now, so we've got still some really nice produce in season, even though it's such cold weather here in the Highlands. Our avocados are still coming through. We've got our cabbages and cauliflower and so forth. But then we're also planning ahead to the warmer months, so we can start planting for our strawberries and watermelon and so on as well. So it's really an exciting space, and I think definitely getting the kids involved is really quite crucial.
In our previous conversation, we were talking about some of the other programs that are coming up, and on on ABC Catalyst has also got a nutrition series on at the moment. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, that's a really exciting space. They're having a look into, I guess, the food of tomorrow. A very distinguished professor, Professor Claire Collins, is our dietitian representative, I guess you could call her, on Catalyst. And there's actually one component where they have a look at a different form of ice cream. So you would normally think of ice cream to have dairy products in it. This one actually has potato. Oh, something a bit different.
Megan, get that face off.
No, I'm just thinking about that. Oh.
Well, it's obviously starch and
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Why not?
Why not indeed?
Yeah. With flavourings, presumably, not potato-flavoured ice cream.
Well, I had a look and there are some really nice recipes out there. Sweet potato ice cream, why not? I might give that a try, actually, once this weather warms up a bit.
I actually have had carrot sorbet, so there you go.
Oh, lovely.
Not moving too far off that.
Yeah,
lovely.
Very nice.
So, yeah, they've got another episode on tomorrow for those of you who've missed the first part in the Catalyst series, but I'm sure you can stream that as well.
Yeah. So I think that everyone should, if you can, look at SBS On Demand back to Sunday week on the 12th of August, and also the Catalyst program that started last week and its second instalment is tomorrow night. Yeah.
So the SBS program, Sue, just to recap, is called Vitamania.
Vitamania, yeah. Now, Yasmin, what do you think we can plan for when we meet again in 2 weeks' time for a healthy bite? What would you like to talk about?
Well, what we'll do is we'll actually work our way through those 13 vitamins. So obviously starting with A and working our way through.
Start at the very beginning.
Exactly.
Yes, go on. Give us a little rendition, Megan.
We won't get to Z because I don't believe there has been a Z yet. I say.
Watch this space.
Exactly. You never know what will pop up. So we'll start with A and work out and see what we can hear about and explore the space of what's happening for the evidence, or the scientific evidence, really, for the different vitamins.
And when you talk each time about a vitamin, Yaz, you'll tell us where you can find that, in which foods that
For sure. Which foods we would definitely be able to get those things from, what it's important for, and what can happen if we don't have enough of the vitamin as well.
Yeah,
definitely.
And maybe a little recipe. Starting with A.
Starting with vitamin A. Okay.
Excellent. Well, we look forward to that. And I think that balance of you being a researcher, a practical person like a mum as well, but bringing together that sort of, new research that's coming through together with practicalities of day-to-day, providing our families with food and nutrition is going to be absolutely fabulous.
Look forward to that.
Excellent. Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
good. So
we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Indeed.
Yeah,
and of course, as all our guests have the honour of doing, you get to choose the next song. Tell us what song you'd like and why you've chosen it.
So I've chosen Ed Sheeran's Castle on the Hill. I really love this song because he's thinking about his childhood memories and, I guess lessons learned and so forth. But there are also some references to the country roads and so forth, which we've got a lot of here in the Highlands. So I thought it was quite a nice little song for us for today.
Very nice.
Lovely song.
Lovely. See you in 2 weeks' time.
See you then.
When I was 6 years old, I broke my leg. And I was running from my brother and his friends, and tasted the sweet perfume of the mountain grass I rolled down. I was younger then. Take me back to when I found my heart, broke it here, made friends and lost them through the years. And I've not seen the boring fields in so long. I know I've grown, but I can't wait to go home. I'm on my way, driving at 90 down those country lanes, singing to Tiny Dancer, and I miss the way you make me feel. It's real when we watch the sunset over the castle on the hill. 15 years old and smoking hand-rolled cigarettes, running from the law through the backfields and getting drunk with my friends. Had my first kiss on a Friday night. I don't reckon that I did it right, but I was younger then. Take me back to when we found weekend jobs, and when we got paid, we'd buy cheap spirits and drink them straight. Me and my friends have not thrown up in so